For those of you who don't know, Kelly is an OG Project 21 member.
And it turns out I have an extra ankle bone. So when I was at convention taking classes, I would give it my all. And I, obviously wanted to be called out and I cared about, being seen. And now I'm a little bit more strategic. Dang, I just got into this and I'm killing it. So that definitely helped the motivation. And this upcoming season, I was asked by Press Play, which I'm super hyped for. And that's what I was doing. I was preparing to be
an Olympic gold medalist.
Literally, I would have been there with Simone Biles, but it's okay. The first time I worked with J-Lo was insane.
What was it like going from being more technically trained to going then into the industry?
No one really explained to me what that meant. Sophia Lucia broke the world record for pirouettes on her tap shoe. She did 55. And 11-year-old Kelly was like, I'm going to beat her. And that's how my mom knew and, that I was competitive. She was like, this girl is crazy. You're not going to base your value as a dancer off of being noticed or not.
Yeah.
You just have to do the best you can in that moment.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stop Talking Kens. I am so excited for today's episode. I am here with
Kelly Sweeney.
Okay, I actually have been getting a lot of DMs saying that you're in the Orange County area and like I should get on it. And I'm like, guys, I'm already on it.
She's already on it. Like it's been 9 years in the coming. Come on.
Yeah. Like seriously, guys, have more faith in me. But anyways, Kelly, tell me how you got started into dance to begin with.
Okay, so this is a funny story. I grew up doing gymnastics from the age of like 3 till I was about 8. When I was around 7, 8 years old, I started to feel a lot of pain in my ankles. So we went to go get that x-rayed, and it turns out I have an extra ankle bone in my ankles. Yes, so that's
both
kind
ankles?
of both ankles. So that's kind of my fun fact. So my options were to continue gymnastics and just take painkillers, or to quit, or to get surgery, but then I would be out for several months and it was just a whole thing. So my mom decided to pull me out to try something else. And at that same time, a small studio near my house was opening up a competition team. And my mom was like, I think this is something Kelly would like, because I was just full of energy, very competitive from a young age, which is why I love gymnastics.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with dance. And luckily I had that easy transition from having the strength and coordination from gymnastics, and it made starting dance easier. So that was kind of my story into how I found dance. And and luckily dance doesn't hurt my extra ankle bones.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, that was good. I think it was the pressure of like flipping and landing on the floor and
how many flips did you get up to before you quit?
I was so young. I wasn't like Simone Biles like
Were
at
you
all.
like Olympics bound?
I was on like the prep team for the real team.
Okay.
So I wasn't competitively competing.
Okay.
But we would do kind of like mock competitions, and that's what I was doing. I was preparing to be
an Olympic gold medalist.
Literally, I would have been there with Simone Biles, but it's okay. It's totally fine.
You would have been the last two standing.
Yes. It's fine.
Okay, how old were you when you started your competition team at your small studio?
I was 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started mini age, I guess.
Yes.
And did you start competitively in the sense of like break the floors, things like that, convention competitions, or more just competitions?
No, just competitions. We were going to, because also this was the studio's first time having a competition team.
Okay.
So we just went to showbiz, we went to just competitions. And we were competing like beginner level. Like these competitions had beginner, intermediate, advanced as level options. It wasn't like convention where everyone just competes in the same category.
Yeah.
So we were competing like beginner. And I remember at our very first competition, we were competing against like 5 other routines, I think. And we ended up winning first. And I was like, dang, I just got into this and I'm killing it. So that definitely helped the motivation of that. But yeah, no, it was just smaller comps.
When did did you ever break off and become a soloist within your groups?
Yeah, so the first year that I competed, I was just doing groups because I was just testing it out. Second year is when I started to do solos. And when I started to do solos the second year, that's when I really started to fall in love with dance.
Okay.
And by the third year of competing with my studio, I actually worked so hard that second year that I was ready to compete elite level by the third year. Yeah.
Yes.
Like my second year of doing solos, all of my solos had enough tricks and like turns and everything to where my teachers were like, this needs to be entered as elite.
Yeah.
And then that was also the year that I started discovering conventions because my studio wasn't doing conventions. So I started discovering Nouveau and Jump and 24/7 when it was still Break the Floor.
Yeah.
And I started to watch these elite dancers. I mean, that was the time that Tate McRae was assisting, Sophia Lucia was assisting, Kalani Hilliker was assisting, which is crazy because it's like I know all of them now and they're so cool. But you know, I got to look up to these girls and be like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And luckily I had that motivation to where I started late, but I was so in love with it and obsessed with it that I didn't let that even be a thought to hold me back. Like I was like, no, if they can do it, like I can eventually do it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
so
a good
great.
mindset.
Yeah. And I've kept that throughout my life. And I think that it's really helped my success.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Kelly is an OG Project 21 member.
That's my lore.
Like from the start.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Yeah, so I was about 12 years old, and this was the year that I started competing elite. I started to go to a lot of conventions and discover who was who and what the dance world really was and get my understanding of it. Because also, my parents are like super regular people. Like I was telling my parents, I need to go to this convention, and they were like just luckily very supportive and would take me.
Yeah.
But I was really paving my way. And obviously through that, I discovered Molly, and that was the time, you know, right after she had done Boyfriend's Back and all these viral dances. I was like, this is so cool. She's so amazing and everything. So I started to look up when Molly was having intensives, and that was the time that she was having a lot of intensives in Arizona and in all these places. So I just started kind of like following her, and anytime she would have master classes here in OC, I would drive down, make my mom drive down. I was 12, make her drive down. And then eventually, luckily, I started to get in privates with Molly. I think she just knew I had potential. She saw my work ethic. I started doing privates with her, and then she mentioned to me in one of the privates, I'm starting a company and I'm interested in having you audition if you're interested in that. And this was a tough choice because I was really close with the studio that I was at, but it was a really small studio. And I did sit down with my studio owner and I was like, you know, Molly's wanting to take me for her team. I think this is going to be really good for my growth. Yeah. And my studio owner, she is the best. I'm still in contact with her and I actually still teach at that studio sometimes. Her name's Allison Hooper. She was my first dance teacher. She was extremely understanding and she said, I want you to grow where you need to grow and I'm going to support you no matter what. Yeah. And I just got so extremely lucky because I know that there's so many crazy stories out there of people leaving and all that. But again, because it was a smaller studio, she was willing to see me grow my wings and fly. And I'm forever grateful for that. So Allison, if you're watching this, I love you. And I actually talk about her a lot in my press play interview that I did, which
we'll get to
that. Yeah. So anyway, I started doing privates with Molly. I auditioned for Project. I got in, and that was the year that I did Project. So I was on season 1. I started off the team, which is just crazy. I know, because the team has developed into something so amazing. It was amazing back then. Yeah. But it just to see what it is now and to have been a part of it, I'm just so grateful and honored. You know, to be there at the start.
Yeah. So basically, we missed each other because I'm season 2.
Yes.
But like, we probably were in McCoy at the same time.
Yes. And I feel like because I left and I like stayed friends with everybody, including Molly. So I was still friends within the group.
Okay. So you were mentioning you left Project 21. Yeah. What was your decision to transition out of the competition world?
Yeah. So I was 14. So I was in Project 21 from the time I was 13 till I was 14. And at 14, that was around the time that MSA started scouting me from actually assisting conventions and stuff. So I ended up getting signed to MSA. I was also living in LA the entire time that I was training in Orange County. So I was commuting an hour to an hour and a half each way to come train with Molly, which it was worth it. But it did get a lot for my mom. She would just have to spend the day here, like doing groceries. She would go to the gym. But like, you know, our life, our house was in LA. So when I got signed to MSA, I realized, let me just see let me just try something different
Yeah.
out of competing. Because as much as I liked competing, I liked more so the team aspect of it. Competing itself, I was like, meh, like I get nervous and like, whatever. I feel like I got the training I needed from competition and I was ready to try something new.
Yeah.
So when I got signed to MSA, I was like, I just want to audition. I want to connect myself in LA. I want to try drop-in classes at Millennium and Playground. And so I just started doing that full time, creating my own schedule. And the industry just happened to work out for me. And I got really, I don't want to say I got really lucky because I worked really hard, but I did get lucky in the sense that everything aligned really nicely for me. But yeah, I'll always cherish, my time at Project 21. It gave me a really solid foundation with details and, again, just learning how to handle my nerves on stage and the pressure of competition, all of that helped with auditions and jobs when I started working professionally. So my path has been aligned really nicely when I look back at it. So I'm really grateful. And again, I left still friends with everybody, and that's how I'm friends with you and everyone that came in. I just ended up meeting somehow through the same circle, so it ended up being really fun.
Okay, you were saying like at 15 you were creating your own schedule basically.
Yeah.
How did you find that motivation to go to dance class and like do these things within yourself, because no one's making you go do these things?
To be honest, I've had that drive since I started dancing. Like I mentioned, I was telling my mom, you have to take me here and I want to do this convention. And my mom was like, Kelly, there's too many conventions, but I would tell her, I'm like, no, I need to be there. So I think it was just like, I was so driven by my obsession and passion for dance that it was easy. I also, and I tell this to my students now that dance in LA, I just took a lot of classes and I saw which ones I resonated with the most, which ones I felt like were going to help me grow the most, which teachers I felt like, because it's really hard. You don't have one teacher that's telling you, take this class. And like you just said, I don't have that structure. So you have to kind of figure that out for yourself and see what feels right and kind of stay consistent with that. Yeah. So that's what I found. And LA is just like endless opportunities. There's so many classes, so many things going on all the time. Mm-hmm. So I just, again, put myself out there, see what aligned with me the best, and stayed consistent with it. Okay. Yeah.
When did you get into choreography?
So this was during the pandemic, actually. So not that long ago, but I was 18. Everything had shut down. And my good friend, his name is Guy Groove. He's also a popular choreographer and teacher in LA. He started a Zoom program. He was actually, I think, one of the first people, if not the first person, to start like a dance program on Zoom right away in April when the shutdown happened. I was assisting all of his classes at the time, and he was like, you should teach some classes on my program. And I was like, sure, I would love to try that out. And then upon that, teaching on Zoom every week, which Ken's just assisted my Zoom class right now. She got to see that live. I've been doing that for the past 5 years. That's where I started teaching. And I realized that I had an ability and a passion to connect with people. Mm-hmm. And I was good at breaking things down because I'm a perfectionist. So that I use to my advantage when I'm teaching, and I can really explain like how to do things versus just demonstrate and hope you can do it, which is what differentiates a dancer from a teacher. So I realized I had that skill and I developed a passion for it. And it was almost kind of word of mouth. Like a lot of kids started to really love my class, and I got more and more traction. And then when studios started to open back up, they took notice and they were like, do you want to start subbing? So I started subbing at Millennium, subbing at Playground. And eventually I got my slots there, and that's how it all came about. So that's why reputation is really important. It's true. Because, again, it wasn't hard. I loved it and I connected with the kids, but word of mouth got around and it aligned really nicely. And when everything opened back up, it was like I was set to teach. In terms of choreography, every day during the pandemic when I wasn't teaching, I would go to I would rent out a studio, like I had the keys, and I would go create choreographies like every day. I just started, because all the studios shut down. So my focus shifted from like taking class to like, what can I create of my own right now? Yeah, it was kind of, I went through this inner spiritual almost transition where I was like, what's the next step for me? Because I've been doing the same thing for a few years now, and that's been working. But now that everything's shut down and limited, what can I do that's different? And I just started creating. And then eventually it got easier. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people struggle to get into choreography, but what they don't realize is choreography, just like dance, is a skill that you need to practice and do several times for several years, for whatever, in order to master it for yourself. And not master is not even the correct word because choreography is such a personal art that it's not something you can master. It's just subject to opinion, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because it's everyone's so different and everyone has a different process to it. But I just found consistency with it. I did it every day. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with creating. I found my personal style from like all the different teachers that I took from and all the different styles that I grew up doing. I just found my niche and I stuck with it. And that's all I want to do for the rest of my career is choreograph.
Was there a moment when you realized like, this is my personal style as you were creating?
Ooh. This is a good question. No, I honestly don't feel like there was one moment. When I look back, it's funny because I look back at choreographies I made 5 years ago and I'm like, what is that? I think it's something that just developed over time.
Okay.
And also, I think what has stood out to me and actually kind of surprised myself is I have really good musicality, which I think is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's thanks to Molly. Her musicality is amazing.
Insane. Yeah.
Yes. And the way I listen to music now, I realized not everyone listens to it the same. Like, because I started teaching and I was like, you guys, these moves are on the basses. And they would be like, oh, I didn't even hear those basses. Yeah. And I was like, how did you not hear them? So then I realized, I was like, oh, I think, as a perfectionist, I really know how to dissect music. I'm like listening to the basses. I'm listening to the snares. I'm listening to the ad libs, listening to the lyrics. And trying to choose like how to transition from one thing to the next and what would be better, if lyrics would be better to hit or basses would be better. And sometimes I play with both. So anyway, I feel like I used to not think of it that way and I would just kind of create from freestyle. And now I'm a little bit more strategic and like I think it through. So again, I don't think it was a specific moment. It was more a process that slowly developed.
Okay.
And I found my personal style and like process to it versus, just like creating to create.
On average, how long does it take you to create a combo?
This depends on the song. So if I'm like feeling the song, because sometimes I can listen to a song and I visualize exactly what I want, I can do it in 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. But then sometimes there's a song I really like, but I'm like struggling to see what I need. So sometimes it can take up to 2 hours.
Okay.
And usually I need to make it up and sleep on it.
Okay.
Watch it 50 times. And then the next day I'll revisit and make subtle changes that make it way better, at least in my opinion. And usually I ask my assistants, is this better or worse? And they're like, it's better. Okay. So that's my usual process. It'll either take 40 minutes to 2 hours, sleep on it, and then the next day. Revisit to make sure.
Is that like a advice you'd give to people who are trying to choreograph, like sleep on it and then revisit your choreography in the morning?
Everyone is so different. I know choreographers that like to set pieces in the moment or set choreography in the moment or in class. I could never. Again, my personality is just, I'm very organized. I need to be prepared on what I'm doing. I need to know my counts.
Yeah.
And because I listen, I can hear every part of the music. It's almost overstimulating and I need to like sit with it. So that's my personal process. And again, I think choreography is such a personal art that it's kind of like artwork. There's no right or wrong. It's just like your personal artwork and what you visualize and what you feel. And so there's no right or wrong way to do it. Again, that's what works for me, but every artist is so different and it's such a personal career, in my opinion, that everyone's process is different. So it might work better for you to do it in the moment. For me, I need to take time with it, sleep on it, revisit. Everyone's different.
Okay. So discovering your own process and what works for you.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start doing touring with conventions, things like that?
I feel like I started when I was 21 and I started with smaller conventions. I did one in Canada. I did a couple cities with streets and I was actually asked to do one city with chaos. So that was kind of like the first Dance one.
Dance one.
Yeah, dance
I
one.
always call it.
Yeah, it was dance one by this point. So I did do like a guest on Chaos, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was the youngest. Actually, Chaos has young faculty, but anyway, I was over the moon because I was so excited. It was a bigger convention, and then the following year, I got asked by Radix, which was this past season, which was huge. I was so excited. Just that lineup is incredible. Those are all teachers I took from growing up. So I was honored to be there. And then this upcoming season, I was asked by Press Play, which I'm super hyped for. It has the most incredible faculty. They are so organized. My meetings and shoots with them so far have been incredible, and they just know what they're doing. It's going to be amazing.
Are you excited to be like faculty on a convention? Like legit?
Yes. So it was funny because this is going to be my first time being exclusively faculty to one convention.
Yeah.
I had gotten offers, but I never wanted to be exclusive because I am so young. I kind of just wanted to be everywhere, try everything, meet everyone.
Yeah.
But when Press Play approached me, they were like, this is going to be exclusive and we want you to tour with only us and we want you to be full-time, whatever. So I had to really think about it. I had a lot of questions for them as well. But I was like, no, this is a great opportunity and they seem so great. So I followed through with it. So yeah, I am excited. And I think it's cool because I'll have that organization and schedule because again, these past few years, it's been like different events every weekend or every week. So you don't know what to expect, but this is going to be like a familiar space that I'm in, whether I'm in a different city every week or not. It's like familiar people, familiar space. I know what I'm working with. So it'll be nice to kind of have that structure. And everyone's really hype about it. I've been traveling this summer a bunch and all the studios are like, we're going. And so I'm just excited to feel out the energy. Yeah, it's crazy.
You've done a lot of amazing things, and it would take us probably 5 hours to talk about every single one. But tell me some of your favorite projects or things that you've ever worked on.
So funny enough, my first project was when I was 11 years old. Literally, I had been dancing for 1.5, 2 years at this point. But it was for the Little Rascals movie. And
wow.
Yeah, they were looking for tap dancers. And my mom submitted my tap duo literally from my first year competing. I had a tap duo with my friend Kelly. And
you were Kelly and Kelly?
Kelly and Kelly. It was iconic. She submitted our tap duo. They loved it. So we were in the Little Rascals movie. That was my first professional job. That was my first taste into the industry. So I always love to talk about that because that was just an amazing moment. When I was 17, it was my first time working with Nappy Tabs. And I did a lot of Disney specials with them, which is, I love working with Disney because I feel like I'm a pretty like PG appropriate, branded. I'm like very family friendly branded.
Yeah.
And so it was just really fun to work on those projects. That's where I met Kylie Cantrell and I worked with all these Disney stars. Some of my favorite jobs have been working for J-Lo. The first time I worked with J-Lo was insane. So a dancer dropped out and they called me. They had already had 4 rehearsals. They called me and they said, Kelly, the show's in 3 days. Can you learn this 3-minute piece by video and come to rehearsal today? I was like, yep, got it. I went to rehearsal, learned the 3-minute piece, luckily by video a little bit, but it was hard with the formations and stuff, but I learned it to the best of my ability. Showed up to rehearsal, learned it in 30 minutes before J-Lo arrived. We tried it all together. Cameras are everywhere.
Wow.
So that was a really big moment for me because I think I was freshly 18.
Okay.
So I was like, dang, like I really proved my professionalism because to learn it that quick and to be on call, it was a cool moment though. And everyone, was super nice and helpful and everything. So that was a really cool moment. And I ended up working with J-Lo 2 other times after that. So that's been a cool experience. I also have done the Oscars. I did the Oscars 3 years ago. That was incredible. And it's funny because I wasn't as nervous as I thought I would be. I feel like it's more nerve-wracking to dance in a room with like 10 people that you know versus just seeing like a sea of
random people.
Yeah. And also it's just like cameras, even though I know there's like millions, possibly billions of people watching. You're not like, I don't know. It was just a very enjoyable job. So that was one of my favorites. When I was 19, I was hired to choreograph for a show called Dancing with Myself, starring Shakira, Nick Jonas, and Liza Koshy.
Okay.
And that was my first big choreography gig at 19.
That's crazy.
Which was an insane opportunity, insane responsibility.
I couldn't do that now. I'm 19.
Yeah, it was, I was so grateful for the opportunity. I did it alongside Big Will, my good friend, and Cameron Lee, who are super respected choreographers as well. And so that was like a huge breakthrough moment for me choreography wise, because that's what I want to do full time.
Yeah.
And that's what I do full time, but that was like my first big choreo job. And now recently I've been working with the Laker girls, doing a lot of NBA things. So I was actually just confirmed to do them for the 5th time this upcoming season.
Slay.
Yes. So I'm doing that later this year. And I also did the Knicks City Dancers. So I'm kind of getting into the NBA choreo world right now, which has been an incredible opportunity. I love working with Laker girls. They're super clean and my style resonates well with them. So that's been a great experience. Also, thinking about choreographing for a court is different because there's all sides.
Yeah.
So it tests my creativity too because I want the girls to move around, and so I really have to think about different formations. So it's been a good push for me. And it's crazy. I think the first time I was hired for that, I was 21. I've been with them. This is going to be the third season that I joined them. So I'm really grateful for that. And I'm just kind of continuing my hustle with choreography alongside full-time teaching, of course.
What was it like going from being more technically trained to going then into the industry?
It was tough at first. I was getting a lot of feedback from the LA teachers being like, your back is stiff, your back is stiff. And it's funny because no one really explained to me what that meant. So it was something that I would receive and try to fix. But I was like, how do I not have a stiff, or why do I have a stiff back?
Yeah.
How do I not have a stiff back, essentially? And now I watch videos back and I was like, oh, I did have a stiff back.
Yeah.
So now it's funny because I train a lot of technical comp dancers, and I give them the same correction, but the difference is I explain to them how to fix it.
Yeah.
You saw it today. We did like a groove on Zoom. Like it was this one.
Yeah.
And I told them like, you need to actually be contracting your spine on that part.
Yeah.
So I kind of took their correction, but I also took from that, like, as a teacher, I need to explain to my students how to, not just, you need to do this and hope that they get it, but really in detail, thoroughly explain. So it was tough because I'm not naturally a groover. I lean more technical, clean, again, from my training with Molly and training in comp. And I feel like that is shown in my style right now.
Yeah.
But because I was training in the industry, for 4 years, from the time I was 14, 15 till now, I mean, I'm still training all the time. I trained in a lot of hip hop. So now I feel like it helped me find my niche to where I incorporate turns, for example, in my combos, but then I also incorporate hip hop grooves. And I just, again, created my own style and niche within the things that I learned in my personal art,
Yeah.
So
wait, you're a really good turner. When did this come about?
Okay, so fun fact, when I was about 11 or 12, Sophia Lucia broke the world record for pirouettes on her tap shoe. She did 55. And 11-year-old Kelly was like, I'm going to beat her. So I literally bought a turn board. I did all the things. I started practicing my turns every single day. Molly probably remembers I would send her videos of myself, or post videos too, of myself doing leg spins. Like I wanted to beat my records every day. At this point too, I started homeschooling when I was 12. So I would procrastinate and just be turning all day at my house. And so, update, I never did beat the 55 pirouettes record.
What did you get to?
On a tap shoe, I don't even know, but I think my record of pirouettes in a jazz shoe is 15.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a lot.
Yeah. And my record of leg spins, I got up to 7.
That is a lot.
Yes. And
15?
So, yeah, in a half sole. Yes.
Like no plie or anything?
No, like plie and then.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah. I got up to 15. There's probably a video dug somewhere. I should dig that up. That is impressive now that I think about it. But something that I love to tell about this story is shoot for the moon and you'll land amongst the stars. I was shooting for 56 on a tap shoe. However, I didn't reach that. But I became a really good turner because I was obsessed with it and practiced it. It was like my hyperfixation.
Wait, low-key, like 15 and a half sole kind of like constitutes like 55 in a tap shoe, I think.
Okay, Kenz, thank you for that validation. I will keep that with me forever. Thank you so much.
No, like legit.
Yeah. But I'm grateful I did that because like it's muscle memory. I can whip out consistently 5 to 8 pirouettes, like, if you ask me to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And right now, my style I do in sneakers, but I can still hit 5 pirouettes in sneakers because I like push through the floor and have that muscle memory so engraved. Yeah. So I tell my students, how do you turn so well? I'm like, it's muscle memory and it's literally just practice. I was just obsessed and had this goal, and luckily this person to kind of look up to and want to beat. And that's how my mom knew, and that I was competitive, because she was like, this girl is crazy. Like, you're not going to do 56. And I was like, watch me. Didn't do it. But I ended up being a really good turner.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
These are my favorite questions to ask.
I'm really scared.
Okay. Are you an early person or a late night person?
Ooh, I have phases.
Okay.
I feel like lately I've been a night owl, because with all of my travels and the time differences, it's just natural,
Yeah.
So lately I've been in my night owl phase, but I will say I have phases where I just get up in the morning easily, and so I honestly, it just depends on my travel schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you wake up in the morning, what is the first app you open?
Oh. Messages.
Okay.
I usually have like 50 messages
from
people I have to get back to. Yeah, because of time zone differences. A lot of times East Coast people will be texting me or emailing me, and so I would say the text messages app to get back to people.
Okay.
In terms of, are you asking social media?
Well, normally that's the first answer I'm given.
I would say I'm the most inclined to Instagram first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a big Snapchatter?
No.
Like, you don't like hold a streak?
I have organic streaks with my friends that I like, but like if we're sending each other videos back and forth of our day or funny things that we see.
Not like, I have to send this person a snap.
No, I stopped that in like early high school. I was like, this is
too
dumb.
much.
Yeah, this is. I'm sorry, it's not dumb. Like, if you want to do it, you can do it. I don't see the point. And it's a lot of pressure and it's annoying. So yeah, no.
Got it. Okay, what do you think is your most used emoji?
Oh, my most used? This is a good question. I would say, I'm so boring. Probably the red heart, because I just like to spread the love. But the second most used maybe would be the skull emoji, because I just always have something witty or funny to say to my friends, and I always just put the skull
at the end.
At the end.
To tie it together.
Yeah, because we don't use laughing face emojis. That's like that's very millennial.
Yeah.
And up. Yeah.
Okay. What is your guilty snack of choice?
Guilty snack of choice. Oh, this is a good question. Honestly, this is also in phases for me. I have phases where I'm really into sweets, and I have phases where I'm not. Oh, but guilty snack, that could be salty too. Any like sort of spicy chip, like Takis, or I'm half Mexican, so I really enjoy a little bit of spice. Okay. And so I would say, yeah, just like Takis or like spicy chips. Okay. Kind of gross, but like very rare occasion, I'm like in the mood.
Now, tell me your dream meal. So the meal, the drink, and the dessert. I love these questions.
This is okay. Dream meal. This is so hard. I love food. Oh, my favorite cuisine is Thai food.
Okay.
Love Thai food. It's like unhealthy. Like, I have a Thai place near my place, and when I go in,
I have a Thai place near my place.
I have a Thai place near my place, and I literally call the lady to order for pickup. She's like, Kelly, how are you? I go, can I have the noodles? She goes, no curry today. Literally, it's a problem. But my dream meal, which I have on a weekly basis usually, but pad ki mao noodles, which are like spicy flat noodles. Okay. Thai. Drink. I've always been a water girl. I'm so boring.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hydration.
But I actually am into Olipop. The strawberry vanilla is really good. Okay. So a little healthy soda. Wouldn't mind. Dream dessert. Like a warm brownie with vanilla ice cream on top. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. What is something you always have to have in your bag when you're going to teach somewhere?
Something I always have to have in my bag, hair ties.
Okay.
Recently, I've been trying to dance with my hair down just because I love to do a lot of headography. Yeah. Hairography, you've been taking class, But sometimes it gets really hot, especially during the summer when the classes are full. Yeah. Or just in general. I also like to walk into the studios usually with my hair down and like looking good, and then I'll pull it up for class if I want to.
Yeah.
So just having that option.
Yeah.
Always need hair ties.
Good answer.
Yeah.
What is your favorite TikTok trend right now?
My favorite TikTok trend. Something that my friends and I have been saying recently, there is this viral video of Howie Mandel on America's Got Talent, and there is this little boy on stage, and he was like, "How old are you?" And the little boy was like, "I'm 4 years old." And Howie was like, "You are the youngest person ever." So now my friends and I, that's like all we say to each other.
Is you're the youngest person ever?
You are the youngest person ever. Yes. I actually said it today in class, like under my breath.
Yeah,
you
like, did. Wait, but I was so confused.
I need to show you that video.
No, it was like the girl was like 9, and then you were like, "You are the youngest
person ever." Yeah.
I was like, okay.
So anytime I have a like young person in class, I'm like, "How old are you?" And they're like, "I'm 7 or whatever." I'm like, "You are the youngest person."
Yeah,
ever.
you did say that.
And
today.
I do get a couple chuckles because some people know, but some people don't.
Yeah,
because you know,
yeah.
there's different sides of TikTok.
Yeah, it's true.
But this is something that my friends and I have been recently obsessed with, and something that we just quote.
I wanted you to say sports car when your choreography went viral.
I'm like, you are the youngest person ever. Like, what about your trend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If we want to talk about that, yeah. Yeah, sports car was insane. Tate McRae ended up doing it
Hey,
herself.
I was in the OG class that sports car was taught in at Brick House.
Oh my God, yes, you were.
I was OG of sports car.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And it was crazy because I was like in between travels. I was on an East Coast tour actually, and she had released a teaser on TikTok.
Of sports car.
A sports car. The chorus. I think they're like that part. And so before I went to the East Coast, I was in Houston.
Yeah.
And when I heard the teaser, I was like, oh, I have to do something to this. And then when the full song's out, at least I'll have a little bit created.
Yeah.
So I'll be, because also when I know I'm going to love a song, when an artist releases a teaser, like, I'm like, I already know, I'm like, I'm going to do this as soon as it comes out. Cause I like, before everyone else starts doing it. And so I did the choreo for the teaser. It ended up blowing up. Like a lot of people ended up doing it.
Yeah.
Tate McRae herself. So then when the song released, I was in New York, and I was literally in my assistant's living room because she has a house in Jersey. And I was like, Bianca, let's I'm going to make this up right now. And so we made it up in her living room to teach at Brick House the next day. And then we taught it at Brick House, and no one knew it was going to.
Hey, I did.
Oh, yeah. You're like, wait, this slays. Yes. It was crazy. I think that Brick House video of me doing it has over 20 million views on TikTok, which I'm like, why? I'm like, I don't know. It's just another class, you know, but crazy. It just, people loved it. And Tate ended up doing it. And I actually know Tate because we grew up dancing together at Millennium. You know, we would take classes together and send each other the videos and talk and DM each other all the time. And so it was cute because obviously I don't keep contact with her, and she's also like big pop star, you know? So for her to like do it and tag me, I was like, this is so sweet. I wouldn't have expected that from her at all. And so it was just a cool moment, and she's amazing. She's one of my favorite artists.
She remembers your Millennium days.
No, for sure. I mean, she like still follows me, and we view each other's stories and stuff. So she definitely knows who I am. We did run into each other actually at a studio. She was in a rehearsal, and I was in a rehearsal for something else in a different room. And we,
like at the same studio.
At the same studio. And I saw her in the lobby from like the corner of my eye, but I was kind of like, I don't know if she's gonna remember me. So I like didn't. And she came up to me and was like, "Hey Kelly, how are you?" And I was like fangirling. So I was like, I literally love you so much. Even though again, I know her, but she was so sweet. And so I'm in big support of her because she, with all of her success, has remained the same and like is so cool and nice to everybody. And so
that's a good quality to have.
Yeah, I just love that. I loved seeing that because again, we hadn't spoken in a long time. Like, I don't know who she is right now. Like I'm just a fan of her music. I create her music. So when I saw her, it was cool to get to compliment her and catch up a little bit and you know, tell her I'm like, I'm your biggest fan. And then for Sports Car to blow up the way it did, it was cool. And her Just Keep Watching, when it released, I also did my own little dance to it. And that ended up also going pretty crazy on socials. So I think her music just really resonates with me. And like, I just immediately within hearing it, I'm like, yes. Even from her first album, like I taught a bunch of classes to like She's All I Want to Be and other ones on the album. So
Yeah.
I've been a Tate stan from the beginning.
OG.
Now all these choreographers are doing your music. I'm like, no guys, I've been there from album 1. Okay. OG stan.
So we established sports car is the TikTok trend.
Yes.
It's mine.
Yes. No, that was crazy. Obviously, when I create, it's like I'm just creating what feels good and what I think will look good.
Yeah.
I never think about how it'll.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you ever create or choreograph something just to become like a TikTok dance trend?
No, unless I'm getting paid.
Okay.
So there are things called sound promos.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Labels will approach me and be like, can you create a dance to this section of the thing? And so they pay other creators to do that dance of mine to get it trending.
Yeah.
So unless it's that, no.
You're not like trying to become a viral TikTok choreographer.
No. No, I'm trying to, no. I'm very proud to say I'm very rooted in my art, and not that there's anything wrong with that at all. I think that there's fun in that as well, and I'm grateful that my stuff has gone viral and that people replicate it. But I do seek to be a working choreographer, you know, for big stages, big movies, all of that. That's where I'm headed, and that's what I'm doing now. So I don't want to be stuck in just content creation. Yeah. Even though, again, there is. I post to promote myself, but it's not to go viral necessarily. I just want to get my work out there. I think of my pages as my resume. Yeah, just get my work out there. This is my page. This is what I do. And if it performs well, then it's a bonus, and I'm grateful. But if it doesn't, I leave it up because I'm like, this is my work, you know. And I don't really, and not that I don't care. I don't want to say I don't care, but you know, that's not my main focus.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you choose a beach day or a walk in the city?
Ooh, this is a tough one. So normally I would say a walk in the city. Okay. Just because I feel like there's more things to do. I'm more of an active person that I like to do activities and tour around and everything. Recently, though, I've been walking around a lot of cities. I've been traveling a lot. So I've been actually craving the beach. And on my days off, I try to go to the beach to just color and unwind. Yeah. So right now I'm in my beach girl era also because it's summer. So, you know, you just love a good beach day. Yeah. But I've been more inclined to do more relaxing things because I'm always on the go walking around these cities.
Do you have a favorite city that you've traveled to for dance? Not in terms of like the dance, but the city itself and like how you got to experience it, I guess.
This is a very good question. I have been all over the world. Does it have to be United States or anywhere?
Anywhere. That really widens it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot. Well, this past month, that is so crazy. This past month, yes.
This month has felt like a year.
Literally, July is, especially because beginning of the month, I started it in Tokyo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was flown out to set a piece for a team over there that competes competitively all over the world. So I set the piece for the team, but I actually flew in a few days early so I could have some time to tour around and get adjusted to the time difference. Yeah. And it was unreal. I mean, Tokyo is it's safe, it's clean, there's so much to do, so much scenery, so much history, so much city, so much, there's just endless. So that's been one of my favorite places to go work. Yeah. I'm really excited because 2 years ago, actually it might have been 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, I went to go teach in Costa Rica, and that same studio is actually flying me out later this year again. So I'm going to go set a piece for them because they also compete. They actually come to the U.S. to compete at Dance One, and they're going to come to Press Play and all of that. So I'm setting a piece for them, and I'm staying some extra days to go to the beach and all of that, visit volcanoes. So Costa Rica is really beautiful. I'm also looking forward to that. Within the U.S., I would say New Orleans was really fun because I'm kind of an introvert and I like to stay home because I'm always out and about working. I'm always doing the most. So I like to stay home and just unwind. But when I went to New Orleans, my best friend, Ava, she's a college student there. And so I went to go teach for convention, and afterwards I was done at like 2. So I went to go to her college, and she took me to like a day party. And then we actually ended up going to downtown New Orleans. We went to Bourbon Street and ended up going out and just having a great time. Yeah. So that was really fun, I think, because of the people I was with as well. Like I was with my best friend and her friends. And so that was cool, because usually when I go work somewhere, I'm like in the hotel, at work, go home.
Yeah.
So that time I got to kind of experience a little bit more. So it was fun.
Not too long ago, you were on the other side of things on the competition stage. What is it like to be now on the other side of the table?
It's really crazy in terms of competing and at convention. And I actually talk about this in my convention classes a lot. Being on the flip side and being a teacher now is super interesting, because when I'm going to talk about convention first. When I was at convention taking classes, I would give it my all. And I, obviously wanted to be called out, and I cared about, being seen and wanting to grow and everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I wouldn't get called out. And now, a lot of times I wouldn't get called out even if I felt like I was killing it. And now, as a teacher on convention, I'm looking at a sea of 300 to 500 dancers, and I see at least 200 of them killing it. And so it's really overwhelming. And maybe that's because I'm a little bit newer to it. I'm getting more adjusted to it now, and I can handle that, because I've been doing it for some time now.
Yeah.
But I always feel a little bit guilty after class, because I'm like, I know there are incredible dancers that I probably missed that are probably being so hard on themselves because I didn't call them out. So I say this in almost all of my convention classes. If you do not get called out, that does not mean you weren't noticed, because that's one thing too. A lot of times I write down numbers, but I only call out certain numbers to get filmed or whatever, but I write down other numbers for scholarships or, so I'm like, you never know who's watching, whether it's me or people on the side speculating. You never know who's watching. I could have written down your number and not called you out right now. So this is not, you should not take this as unmotivation. Is that even a word? You should not let this unmotivate you. If you don't get called out, because you're not going to base your value off of me noticing you or not. So I try my best. And you've taken my class a couple times now. I always do a group where I say, if you felt like you had the choreography down, and I always say, be honest with yourselves, because I always have the kids that are like, I can do it, and they don't know what they're doing. So I'm like, be honest with yourselves. I make it a little scary. If you know that you have the choreography down and you were not called out in a select group, come on out. I always, if I have the time to, always try to do a group like that, so that at least everyone feels like they had the chance to be seen. Because again, as a kid, I feel like some classes I would base my value off of that. And now as a teacher, I'm like, oh my gosh, it is so overwhelming. And sometimes I see people giving it 100%, but maybe they're not super clean, or maybe they're lacking performance or something, which usually I try to give that individual correction to that person. But again, when you're focused on 400 people in one room, it's just hard to balance everything within 1 hour as well. So now, being on the flip side, I just try to remind people, you're not going to base your value as a dancer off of being noticed or not. You just have to do the best you can in that moment. And that's all that matters, because if you're doing the best that you can and you're giving your all in that class, that's making you a better dancer for the next time. And then you'll get noticed the next time. It's about that consistency and not, once again, basing your value off of that. So that's a big lesson that I've really tried to translate to this next generation, because it's something that I'm learning as a young teacher right now, because I wasn't, it wasn't too long ago that I was on that side. Judging too is super interesting. I was very nervous to start judging.
Would you say you were more nervous to start judging than you were to start teaching a class at convention?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when I started teaching class at convention, I had teaching experience already. Judging was a whole different ordeal. And also, I actually I had judged a little bit before, but Radix is when I started judging more consistently.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, so now I'm judging not only judging, but I'm judging the best of the best, So I made sure to prepare beforehand. Again, I did have experience, but that was kind of the bigger scale of like the first time I was doing it on a bigger scale. So I found that I have a good ability for it because I'm a perfectionist. I can watch and be like, higher relevant on this, I'm pretty quick with my corrections. Also, when I do private classes with my students, which I've been doing for several years, I'm basically being a judge that whole time, right? Like I'm working one-on-one with a student and I'm correcting every detail. So when I'm watching soloists, it's kind of the same concept, I realized. So I was like, oh no, I can do this. And then with groups, it's different. Like I have to look at a lot of other things. So that's something that I've been learning again through my experience. But because it wasn't that long ago that I was a competition dancer, having that experience and knowing what they need and what they need to work on and all of that. And from previous corrections that I remember receiving through my judges' notes and everything, all of that combined, I've been doing great.
Well, even today, you gave every single person, okay, everyone did the combo one time, maybe like, I don't know, like 7 people.
Yeah.
And Kelly gave every single person a correction just by watching it one time. And I was like, how?
Yeah. So this is a very interesting skill that I have, and it's helped me with judging.
I literally I could have maybe corrected like 2 people that are next to each other on the Zoom.
When I am watching several people dance, I can rotate my eyesight. And again, I think every teacher is very different.
Yeah.
But I can like rotate my eyesight, and I try to take turns on Zoom purposely because I want to give personal feedback because it's easy to, like, I'm just seeing their screens.
Yeah.
Versus in person, it's a little more chaotic. But
yeah.
on their screens, it's like I kind of just take turns watching each person. And again, I've been doing that for the past 5 years. So it's like you just get used to it. It's just a skill that I've acquired over time. But yeah, I watch different people. So if you notice though, I'm giving them corrections on specific parts.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not like the whole thing, like, and then on this, and then on this. No, it's like this part, you did the arm wrong. Then I go to the next person. This part, you need to get lower.
Yeah.
Next person. And sometimes I don't have corrections because the parts that I was watching them in, they killed. So I was like, you're killing it. I would just compliment them. So yeah, that's just a skill that I've acquired over time. But I am really quick with my thoughts and my eyesight because in my experiences, I've just had to be.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I know you have lots more questions, so comment them down below, and we will do a follow-up episode. And also, after your press play season, we can talk about it.
Yes.
So, like, in a year, we'll, like, reconvene.
Well, okay, we'll recap.
Yeah.
I'll tell you everything I've learned, everything I've grown in judging. And it's cool because I feel like I'm one of the first kind of Gen Z students right now that's on the rise of teaching. And so it's cool to kind of be on both sides because I can relate to the dancers still, but I'm learning so much that, I would just love to give my tips and tricks and insight to the flip side of things right now.
Wise words with Kelly.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay, thank you so much, Kelly, for coming.
Thank you. I'm honored.
And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next week with another episode. Bye.